Time to break down character creation. Ever since it was announced, the rumor mill has gone nuts, so it's a good thing that I went to Gamescom and I was able to clarify a lot of stuff regarding character creation. My name is Globku, and for those of you following me on Twitter, you knew this was coming up today. It's everything about character creation. When character creation was first announced, this was one of the first pictures that we had. And I've wanted to make this video for a long time, but no one ever translated this scan because honestly, the resolution is kinda low, so it's very hard to read. But this year, behind closed doors at Gamescom, they actually showed this image in English. And through my speedy handwriting process, I was able to write it all down. And then of course, the images leaked or were released somewhere on the internet, so my speedy handwriting process was useless. Anyway, the menus should give us a pretty good idea of what we can customize. So for the first menu, we have appearance, hair, mouth, eyes, pupil, eyebrows, nose, and face paint. Let's break down each one of these items. Appearance seems to be stuff like your build, your height, how chubby you are. There's a small clip of that in the latest trailer. It doesn't seem like you have a lot of options here. There's only 5 different builds. But of course, we don't know if this is final and if there will be more body builds in the final game. But then again, having completely different body builds would be kind of weird because you need to somehow keep all the hitboxes for all the characters similar so the game stays balanced. Otherwise, small characters will be at a huge advantage. Then we have the hair, and it seems that there are a lot of options there. This was also shown in the latest trailer. You can also customize the mouth, though I haven't seen any significant differences. They might be something, you know, some slight changes. I mean, what are you gonna do with the mouth? The eyes must refer to the eye shape. We see some different shapes between the different characters that have been created, again, in the trailer that we had from Gamescom. The pupil seems to just be a color thing. I know a lot of you guys are hoping to get a Sharingan or a Byakugan, for example. I think that's something that will be tied to your abilities, and the appearance of your character might even change when you activate them. So for instance, when you equip a Sharingan and you activate the ability, maybe the pupil will change into the actual Sharingan. But while you're creating the character, the pupil item seems to be just a color change. We've seen a few eyebrows as well. I hope we see Rock Lee's eyebrows, personally. I'm really looking forward to that. Nose, there seem to be some different ones, but again, haven't seen any radical changes. And finally, face paint, which seems to have a few options as well. Now for the face paint specifically, we can see that the items on the trailer, they are not in order. We can see some random numbers there. And that's probably because you can unlock more customization options as you go through the game. So chances are you won't have all the options from the get-go. But moving on to the second menu, which is, in my opinion, much more interesting. This still has some visual customization, but most of it's gameplay and abilities. So here we go. From the top to the bottom, role, weapon, sub-weapon, costume top, costume bottom, accessory, ninjutsu 1, ninjutsu 2, substitution ninjutsu, and secret ninjutsu. Yeah, there's a lot. So the role here is what you expect. There are 4 roles in this game: attack, defense, ranged, and heal. This is where you choose your style, and all the abilities you can choose will be depending on the style that you pick. And I'm not making that up, I'll confirm that later in this video. Next, weapons is where you decide if you want to use your better fists or bring a weapon into the battlefield. We've seen Kisame's sword, we've seen Zabuza's sword as well, we've seen some smaller swords. There seems to be quite a variety of options, and the weapon will actually determine your melee combos, how you fight in close range battle. They are very different in terms of speed and ranged, and they actually feel very different as well, as I've tried a couple of them at Gamescom. And I was surprised that this is actually a 2-button game when it comes to combos. There's a light and a heavy attack buttons. Though I needed a bit more time to fully understand how the combos work, I don't know how limited they are. That's something that I'm gonna need a bit more hands-on time when I get the chance to finally figure out how combos work. But I was surprised, because in the Storm games you only have 1 attack button for melee combos, so this seems to be a little more in depth when it comes to melee range. Sub-weapon is your ranged weapon, the one you throw when you press circle. We've seen kunai, we've seen bombs, and I know we'll see more in the days to come. Then we have some visual customization stuff, which is your costume. Both top and bottom parts can be equipped separately, as well as an accessory, though I haven't really looked into what this is yet. And then you have your 4 remaining abilities. Ninjutsu 1 and 2 are the abilities mapped to your shoulder buttons. They operate on a cooldown and have many different effects depending on your role. Substitution jutsu, which is your defensive ability when you press R2. The most common one is the log, but the Gamescom build had a few others. We've also seen a water clone as a substitution jutsu in one of the previous trailers, and in the Gamescom build, both Kakashi and Naruto had a Kage Bunshin, so whenever they hit R2, a clone would appear in their place, allowing them to escape and maybe it's a bit confusing actually if you're not used to the game, because you think you're still attacking the same target, but actually that's just a fake. It's something that you'll learn to get used to over time, I'm sure, but in the beginning it was a bit confusing. It's a good way to throw your opponent off balance and make a daring escape. And finally, the secret ninjutsu, and you can think of this as your ultimate ability. It's stronger than your other ninjutsu. It's not available at the beginning of the fight. It builds up over time, and also when you deal or take damage of any type. And it's usually just your strongest ability that you take into the battlefield. And now finally, with those menus translated, we start to see the big picture. We can finally see how much we can customize our character, but I'm sure you guys still have a lot of questions, just like I did. So fortunately, I was able to interview the game producer Nino Noriaki. The full interview will be coming out later, but there's some information regarding character creation that is very relevant to this video. So first of all, I wanted to confirm whether or not your ninjutsu was tied to the role you pick, or if there were some neutral abilities that could be used by anyone.
Basically, the ninjutsu are kind of stuck to the types. So if you're like fireball jutsu would be the range type jutsu, so and Rasengan would be the attack type jutsu, that kind of thing.
There don't seem to be any abilities shared between all the different classes, which is kind of a big deal when you consider that you can only create one character. That's right, unlike Xenoverse, you don't have multiple character slots to create different characters, you only have the one.
Currently is just one avatar, but until you play it to a certain point, you could change the clothes and stuff, but the looks would be fixed. But after the certain point, you'll be able to change like the face or the hair and other parts as well. But you can only make one avatar.
Your character appearance seems to be locked when you create your character, at least for a while. It seems that it's something that you can unlock after playing for a while, then you can change the appearance once again. But when it comes to your abilities and your role, attack, defense, ranged, or healer, you can actually change it just on the fly. It works a little bit like loadouts in a first-person shooter. You can even change them when you die in the middle of a match. Let's say you're an attack character and you die because your team didn't have any healers. You can change your character role to your healer loadout, and when you respawn, you'll be a healer. The appearance will be the same, but every ability will change, including your melee weapon. And I'm willing to bet that your character loadout, the stuff that you can change, is the second menu that we looked at today. The first menu seems to be the thing that will be locked after you create a character, at least until you play enough of the game to unlock it once again. Still regarding different abilities, people have been wondering about clans, and can they use bloodline abilities or Kekkei Genkai?
In the original story, of course, it doesn't make sense to have a Byakugan Sharingan, but in this game we want to have the players combine the jutsu in their own will, so it is possible. We want them to have their own Kekkei Genkai plus another Kekkei Genkai, yeah.
The answer is yes, and not only can you use a single Kekkei Genkai, you can actually equip as many in your created character as you want. While a Byakugan and a Sharingan don't necessarily make sense in the Naruto universe, they wanted to give you that freedom for when you create a character. You don't have that many ability slots, so you're kind of limited to the amount of abilities or bloodline abilities that you can equip. But you can do it, and there are no restrictions around that. Finally, because it's such a big deal within the Naruto community, I needed some confirmation regarding awakenings or transformation abilities.
We are thinking of some surprising ninjutsus, but as you know, there are in the original story very powerful ninjutsu. So it's very hard to get the balance of the game because some ninjutsus are too powerful, but you don't want to put that in the game and like one hit and then everybody dies. You know, that's gonna be boring. So because there's 8 players on the field, it's a very delicate balance. But I wouldn't say that there will be like an awakening, but there are a lot of ninjutsus you can do, but it's not like you hit them once and then it's over. It's not gonna be like that.
It seems there won't be any awakenings as they would be too powerful for this type of game. You heard it here, you can't do it. No awakening. Honestly, I'm good. I don't think I need any more information about character creation. I'm very satisfied with this knowledge, and I'm very much looking forward to creating my own ninja when the game comes out. We'll be releasing the interview later on this channel. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do so and enable those notifications so you don't miss it when it goes live. There's a lot of new information there, but I need to subtitle the whole thing. As you probably noticed throughout this video, the translator audio is full of noise, so I'm gonna have to subtitle the whole thing. In the meantime, if you'd like to watch some gameplay I captured at Gamescom, here's a full flag battle playing as Sakura. If you're in the mood for something else, you can click right here as well. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.